MapleStory is a game frequently associated as being for younger children aged between 8 and 13, however there is more than meets the eye. The average demographic for the game is actually 18 to 24-year-olds, with over 8 million players. It is much more challenging than at first glance and includes less childish monsters after the early levels. Is it compelling enough to play? Indubitably. With its massive amount of offering in-game, all gamers could find some element they would love. Due to it being online, you can interact with people from countries within its service areas such as America, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Maple is ever expanding as it is updated every 2 months with new content. The main goal of Maple is to reach level 200, however there are many side goals such as completing collections, quests, and defeating bosses. As the name suggests, MapleStory has a story element to it, unlike many other free-to-play MMOs. Thousands of years ago, the Black Mage was sealed away by 5 heroes who were cursed by him to be encased in ice for thousands of years. To this day, the Black Mage is being resurrected by his followers, the Black Wings. Consequently, these newly awoken heroes must create an alliance with the citizens of the Maple World to stop the Black Wings before it is too late. The game also features a future area where a questline explains what happens in the future for players who reach level 160. Different character classes each have different roles in the storyline, the heroes and legends being the most important. Even though the story isn't vital to the gameplay, sometimes clever puns are added, and it's always nice to see a well-translated Korean game, as frequently they are poorly translated. All in all, the story provides a sense of depth not seen in similar games such as Lartale or Wonder King. Controls are intuitive and simple, enabling you to get used to gameplay quickly. However, there are some unnecessary keys, particularly at the start, which can be removed. Similarly, if you're used to key placement in another game, you can practically change all shortcuts to almost any button on the keyboard. As MapleStory progresses, you gain more skills. This will fill up the keyboard and it may get cluttered, causing you to hit the wrong key in error. This happened to me and it was a pain. But it can be solved by removing all unnecessary shortcuts. A great feature included though is the ability to connect a joystick or game controller, such as a Wii remote or an Xbox remote, via Bluetooth, allowing you to use these instead of a keyboard. MapleStory originally had unique 2D side-scrolling gameplay, but due to its success, it was widely adopted by many of the current free-to-play market. It offers a diverse, ever-expanding gameplay. Currently, Maple has 13 playable classes from the start, ranging from Magician, Archer, Thief, Pirate, or Warrior. These classes stem off to the 27 playable classes after you reach level 30. Most classes are remarkably unique despite the number of playable jobs. My personal favourite, called an Evan, a magician, uses a dragon to attack compared to other magicians which rely on far-ranged magic attacks. Recently, 3 new more powerful playable character classes were added. They add a fresh feeling to the game, however they feel unbalanced compared to older classes. This is solved by the issuing of frequent balancing updates. There are over 1,000 monsters in-game, many being bosses. This adds a lot of variety to MapleStory and keeps gameplay fresh. Each character class has its own skills, making different tactics for different classes vital. Partying is an essential element of this MMO, and is further encouraged by bonus party experience. I found it fascinating to have a chat with someone on the other side of the world and see what life was like there. A form of questing can only be completed within a party. It usually involves several stages where different tasks must be completed, such as collecting tokens or finding a combination. I found this exciting, increasing the complexity of the game whilst making a few online buddies in the process. Maple features a buddy system where you can compile up to 100 buddies. The start of Maple implements a fast leveling curve that easily immerses players quickly into the game. Gameplay is extremely flexible. At any stage during gameplay, there are several ways to train. A friendly guide will help you through some recommended training maps, party quests, or just regular quests. This is possible due to the game having several continents with 20 towns and cities. There are also a number of collections such as monster cards which allow you to know which monsters drop what items. I found this a rather handy tool when searching for a specific piece of equipment. In addition to these are professions, which allow you to craft your own equipment. This is an intuitive improvement, as most online games have a much more complex system, but this was quite simple. Due to the online nature of this game, it requires a weekly server check to maintain the massive 283 servers that keep the game running. This unfortunately means the game goes offline and is unable to be played until the server check is finished. Maple usually remains offline for a number of hours, quite often during evening and nighttime in Australia. This can be quite frustrating, as for most people this is the most convenient time to play. Even if the schedule is set to finish before midnight, it is often extended for several extra hours into the morning. Although I found this quite frustrating, at the same time it is entertaining to see other players rage on the forums. On the plus side of maintenances, they do allow for hours of content to be added on special holidays such as Christmas, Easter and Halloween. If you're a bit of a Scrooge towards other players and don't wish to socialise, don't fret, you can always hide in the underpopulated servers. A technical limitation of MapleStory is that you can't modify in-game elements such as backgrounds, quests and armors when compared to the game Skyrim. This is impossible, however, given the nature of an MMO. All user game files must be identical to allow for fair gameplay. Visuals are very reminiscent of Pokemon and Super Mario in the terms that the game is set onto several platforms. The frontal platform, where the character is, as well as NPCs and platforms or ropes, is very similar to Pokemon. The character is anime-like with its disproportionately large head, whereas the background is similar to Mario in that it has a 3D texture to it and is animated, moving as you move. User interface is simple with menus, health, mana and experience bars located at the bottom and a map on the top left of the screen. MapleStory uses a huge library of over 260 songs. This makes every new map special, as most of the tunes are catchy and will have you humming as you train. Sound often fits with the environment, such as drums and bongos being used in a desert, while an electronic-based music piece is used for the cities. There are also sound effects that come along with jumping, using skills, and attacking. These are usually very simple sounds, being very short. Some sounds are annoying, such as repetitive attacking from a warrior. To solve this, I found myself muting the game sounds while still enjoying the background music. Of course, if you don't fancy the background music, you can always mute that too and play your own. MapleStory set a benchmark for online side-scrolling games and successfully captures an audience with its wide variety of gameplay features. Maple far succeeds all other 2D online RPGs, including Wonder King and Ghost Online, and is updated more frequently. It has long-lasting appeal with thousands of quests and monsters, and many lands to explore. With a level cap of 200, it will take you a long time to reach that. Even if you do reach the cap, you can always aim to complete collections such as Monster Book or medals. You could also beat boss times or start a new character class, considering there are 27 in-game. Due to the flexibility of the game and the fact that it is updated bi-monthly with brand new content, MapleStory is substantial in size, giving anywhere between hundreds or even thousands of hours of enjoyment. This is an awesome game that continually builds on its weaknesses, and it should be tried by all online gamers.